What would you do if the person dying in front of you was connected to the worst moment of your life? The scream that tore from 16-year-old Destiny Washington's throat could have shattered every window on Detroit's east side. She stumbled backward from the dumpster, her phone tumbling from her shaking hands. The flashlight beam went wild, cutting through the darkness like a knife through butter, making shadows dance across the wet pavement behind the abandoned Kroger. Inside that dumpster, buried under garbage bags and rotting food, was a man. White, maybe 60. Blood painted half his face red, mixing with gray hair that might have been white before tonight. His breathing came in short, wet gasps that sounded like death counting down. But the blood wasn't why Destiny screamed. On his wrist, just visible under a torn sleeve, was a tattoo. 3 triangles locked together in a pattern she'd memorized against her will. The same mark burned into her memory from the night her brother Marcus died. The same mark on the wrist of the man who pulled the trigger. Every muscle in her body screamed, "Run. Leave him. Let the garbage have him like the streets took Marcus 2 years ago." But then his eyes opened. Gray eyes, clouded with pain, found hers through the darkness. "Please," he whispered, blood bubbling on his lips. "Help me." Let me take you back 12 hours, before the scream, before the choice that would flip Destiny's world upside down. The eviction notice was bright pink, taped to their apartment door like a neon sign announcing their failure to everyone in the hallway. 72 hours to pay or get out. 3 days until they joined the crowds of people living in tents under the freeway. Destiny ripped it down before her mother could see it, stuffing it deep in her backpack. "Mom's not home yet?" Keisha asked from the couch. Her little sister was 11 now, too young for those dead eyes she'd had since watching Marcus bleed out on their front steps. "Working," Destiny said. Their mother Diane had aged 20 years in the last 2. 3 jobs: hospital janitor at night, grocery store in the morning, Uber driver whenever her body could stay vertical. And still the bills grew faster than the paychecks. "I'm getting groceries. You good?" "Always am." That was the thing about tragedy. It made everyone grow up fast or die trying. Destiny had $37 to her name, money saved from tutoring kids in math, which she was brilliant at despite missing half of sophomore year after Marcus died. $37 to feed 3 people for 3 days. She walked 20 minutes through neighborhoods that got worse with each block. Burned houses, boarded windows, groups of men on corners who saw everything but remembered nothing when cops came asking. Right there, under that broken streetlight the city never fixed, that's where Marcus died. Shot 3 times by someone claiming self-defense. The security footage that would have proven Marcus was just walking home vanished like smoke. The shooter walked free. Another dead black kid in Detroit. Another day ending in Y. Mr. Kim's food truck sat in the abandoned Kroger's lot, steam rising from his grill. He smiled when he saw Destiny, loading up a container with way more food than $5 should buy. "Mr. Kim, this is too much." "It's exactly right. Tell your mother I said hello." Walking back through the lot, food warm in her hands, Destiny heard something wrong. Weak thumping from behind the building where dumpsters sat in darkness. Smart instincts said, keep walking. Nothing good happened behind abandoned buildings after dark. But something about that sound, desperate, human, dying, made her stop. She turned on her phone's flashlight and walked around the corner. The dumpster overflowed with garbage bags piled like offerings. The thumping came from inside, weak hits against metal. Someone was in there. Destiny climbed the crate and looked inside. Death was already measuring this man for a coffin. His expensive clothes, suit pants, dress shirt, were torn and bloody. Nobody from this neighborhood dressed like that, unless they were lost or looking for trouble. "Help," he wheezed. She reached in to check his pulse. That's when his sleeve pulled back. 3 interlocking triangles. Black ink, faded but unmistakable. The scream ripped out before she could stop it.
Marcus had been obsessed with that tattoo before he died. He'd seen it on someone following him for weeks, started taking pictures, documenting everything, convinced something bigger was happening. Found the same symbol in photos from hate crimes nationwide. It's a brotherhood, Marcus had told her 2 days before dying. White supremacists, but organized, hidden. They've got people everywhere, cops, judges, businesses. She thought he was paranoid, until a man with that exact tattoo shot Marcus 3 times, claiming attempted robbery with no weapon, no stolen goods, no evidence except his word against silence. Now here was another man with the same mark, dying in garbage in the same neighborhood. The man's eyes focused on her. Recognition flickered, which was impossible. They'd never met. "You're Washington," he gasped. "Marcus Washington's sister." Ice flooded her veins. "How do you know who I am?" "Please, they're coming back. To finish." "Who's coming back?" "The Brotherhood. They found out what I did. I can explain everything. About your brother. The truth." Those 3 words changed everything. The truth. About Marcus. Destiny's hands moved without permission, pulling out her phone. But not for 911. She called Roderick Payne, 22, built like a linebacker, Marcus's best friend who'd become their protector after the murder. "D, everything good? I need you at the old Kroger. Now, bring your truck." "On my way." "And Rod, don't tell anybody." 8 minutes later, Roderick's black pickup slid into the lot, lights off. He took one look at the dying white man and swore. "That's a white man, D. A dying white man. You trying to catch a case?" "He knows something about Marcus." That changed everything. Together, they hauled him out, dead weight, barely breathing, loaded him in the truck bed under a tarp. The abandoned auto shop where Roderick fixed cars off the books was 5 minutes away. They carried him inside, laying him on an old couch under harsh fluorescent lights that showed the real damage. Someone had beaten him professionally. Maximum pain, minimum killing. "No hospitals," the man wheezed. "They have people there. They'll finish it." "Who's they?" Destiny demanded. The man's gray eyes locked on hers. "My name is Harrison Blackwood, and I'm the reason your brother started investigating the Brotherhood." "I was recruitment," Harrison Blackwood said, each word fighting through blood and pain. "Find young white men, angry ones, lost ones. Turn them into soldiers for the cause."
Destiny's hands clenched. Race soldiers. Yes. No excuses, no denial, just truth bleeding out like the blood from his wounds. But I started having doubts, started keeping records, evidence. Your brother, he was smart, too smart. He traced patterns nobody else saw, got too close. "So you had him killed?" Destiny said, her voice flat as roadkill. "No." Harrison tried to sit up, gasped, fell back. "I tried to warn him, sent anonymous messages telling him to stop, but Marcus wouldn't quit. The Brotherhood found out he was investigating, found out I'd become compromised." Compromised how? Harrison's eyes closed, and for a moment Destiny thought he died. Then they opened, full of something that looked like shame. "My grandson, Jaden. His father is black." The words came out like pulling teeth. "My daughter never told me until last month. Showed me pictures. Beautiful boy. 3 years old. Looks exactly like me except his skin. The Brotherhood found out. Said I was tainted. Said my bloodline was corrupted." Roderick laughed, bitter and sharp. "So you were fine with racism until it affected you." "Yes," Harrison said simply. "I was a monster. Maybe still am. But when they talked about cleansing my daughter and grandson, I understood. Finally understood what we've been doing to families like yours." "You got Marcus killed," Destiny said. Kenneth Fitzgerald killed Marcus. The name hit Destiny like a punch. I tried to stop it but got overruled. He's a detective now. Got promoted after your brother's death. The Brotherhood takes care of its own. The world tilted. Marcus's killer was a cop now? I have evidence, Harrison continued, his voice getting weaker. Hidden. Photos, recordings, names. 30 years of the Brotherhood's activities, including your brother's murder. Real evidence that could put them all away. Why should we believe you? Roderick asked. Harrison raised his arm, showing the tattoo. Then he pulled a knife from his pocket, making both Destiny and Roderick tense, and cut deep through the tattoo. Blood flowed freely as he destroyed the symbol. Because I'm done with them, he gasped, and because your brother deserves justice. Harrison directed them to a storage unit across town, key taped under a dumpster 2 blocks away. Paranoid, but effective. Destiny and Roderick left him with water and Roderick's gun while they drove to the unit. Inside, behind false panels, were boxes that made Destiny's stomach turn. Photos of Brotherhood members at rallies, in police uniforms, in judges' robes, videos of meetings where they planned attacks on black families, Jewish synagogues, immigrant communities. And there, in a folder marked M. Washington, was everything about Marcus. The video started shaky. Someone's phone recording. Marcus with the hands up, begging, "Please, I don't have anything. I'm just walking home." Kenneth Fitzgerald, face clear in the frame, smiling. "Wrong place, wrong color, boy." 3 shots. Marcus falling. Fitzgerald pulling a knife from his own pocket, putting it in Marcus's dead hand. Other cops arriving, Brotherhood members helping stage the scene. Destiny ran outside to vomit in the alley. When she came back, Roderick was still watching, tears streaming down his face. "There's more," he said, voice breaking. "So much more." Harrison had documented
everything. The Brotherhood wasn't random racists. They were organized, funded, connected. Look at this. Roderick held up a photo. The Prophet. That's what they call their leader. The man in the photo looked like a senator. Silver hair, expensive suit, kind grandfather face. Thomas Brightwater, according to Harrison's notes, owned half of downtown Detroit. Untouchable. Until now. They loaded 3 boxes of the most damning evidence and rushed back to the shop. Harrison was barely conscious, gray-faced, breathing shallow. "There's an FBI agent," he whispered. "Denise Coleman, black woman, clean. She's been investigating us for years but could never get evidence. Her number's in my phone." Destiny stared at this dying racist who'd helped destroy her family, now offering to help save others. "Why should I save you?" she asked. "You shouldn't," Harrison said. "Let me die. I deserve it. But the evidence, that's not for me. That's for Marcus, for all the families we destroyed. I die, the Brotherhood wins. I testify, they all fall." She found the number. Her finger hovered over call. This man had recruited killers, spread hate for 30 years, helped create the system that murdered her brother. Every instinct said, let him die. But Marcus had died trying to expose them, and here was the evidence he died for. She was about to press call when the garage door exploded inward. 3 men in masks, military precision, guns raised. The Brotherhood had found them. If you're watching Top Core for the first time, hit that subscribe button right now, because what happens when the Brotherhood strikes will show you that sometimes survival means working with your worst enemy. Gunfire erupted like firecrackers in a metal drum. Roderick pulled Destiny behind the couch as bullets tore through the garage wall. Harrison, despite bleeding and barely conscious, rolled off the couch and pulled a gun from his ankle holster. "Back door," Roderick shouted over the noise. The 3 masked men moved forward, military style, covering each other, professional, trained. These weren't street thugs, these were soldiers. Harrison fired twice, his aim still good despite everything. One attacker dropped, clutching his leg. The other 2 dove for cover behind Roderick's tool benches. "Go," Harrison wheezed. "Take the evidence. Go." Destiny grabbed the box with Marcus's folder while Roderick hauled Harrison up, half carrying him toward the back exit. More gunfire exploded behind them, bullets sparking off metal shelves. The back alley was dark, narrow, full of dumpsters and broken glass. They ran, Harrison's feet dragging, leaving a blood trail anyone could follow. "My Aunt Shanice, 3 blocks. She's got a basement." Behind them, shouts, footsteps. The Brotherhood wasn't giving up. Destiny led them through shortcuts Marcus had shown her years ago. Gaps in fences, paths between buildings only neighborhood kids knew. Her heart hammered so hard she thought it might explode. Shanice took one look at them and pulled them inside, without questions. That's how it was in their neighborhood. You helped first, asked later. The basement was fortified. Steel door, reinforced walls. Shanice's husband had been paranoid before he died. Now that paranoia might save them. "We need to call that FBI agent," Destiny said, pulling out Harrison's phone with shaking hands. Harrison was fading fast. His skin had gone from gray to white, his breathing barely there. The phone
Rang twice before a sharp voice answered. "Who is this?" "My name is Destiny Washington, Marcus Washington's sister. I have Harrison Blackwood and 30 years of evidence on the White Brotherhood. We need help. Now." Silence. Then, "Are you somewhere safe?" "For now, but they're hunting us. Harrison's dying." "Don't move. I'm 20 minutes out." "How many hostiles?" "3, maybe more." "Armed?" "Military weapons. They move like soldiers." Another pause. "I'm bringing a team. Keep Harrison alive if you can. Without his testimony, the evidence is just paper." Roderick's aunt brought medical supplies, bandages, peroxide, things that wouldn't help much, but were better than nothing. Destiny pressed cloth against Harrison's wounds while Roderick watched the windows. "Why?" she asked Harrison. "Why keep all that evidence?" His eyes fluttered open. "Insurance. The Brotherhood, they eat their own when convenient. I wanted protection. Then my grandson." His voice trailed off. "Tell me about Thomas Brightwater." "The prophet," Harrison whispered. "Untouchable. Owns judges. Controls police departments. Has senators in his pocket. But he's careful. Never directly connected to violence. Always has cutouts. Except now we have videos, documents. Not enough without me. I know where the bodies are buried. Literally. I know the codes, the networks, the money trails." 15 minutes felt like 15 hours. Every car outside made them freeze. Every footstep could be death coming. Then vehicles surrounded the house. Not sirens and lights, quiet, efficient. A black woman in her 40s appeared in the basement doorway. Sharp eyes, FBI vest, face that had seen too much but kept fighting anyway. "Denise Coleman," she said. "We need to move. Now." Her team, all black agents, Destiny noticed, worked fast. Harrison on a stretcher, evidence boxes secured, everyone into unmarked vans. "They'll track us," Harrison mumbled. "Let them try. We're going dark." The safe house was in Dearborn, a medical team waiting. As doctors worked on Harrison, Coleman reviewed the evidence with growing excitement and horror. "Jesus Christ," she breathed, looking at the Marcus Washington folder. This is everything. The murder, the cover-up, the whole network." She showed Destiny photos. Cops, judges, politicians, all with the 3 triangle tattoo. Some hidden, some proud. "We've been hunting them for years," Coleman said. "But there's smoke. Every time we get close, evidence disappears. Witnesses die or vanish. Harrison was the ghost we could never catch." "And now?" Destiny asked. "Now we have him. If he lives." Coleman looked at the medical team working frantically. "He has to live, Destiny. Without his testimony, identifying all these people, explaining the codes and connections, it's just suspicious pictures and videos they'll claim are fake." Destiny looked at boxes of evidence. 30 years of hate. Hundreds of families destroyed. Her brother was just one casualty in a war most people didn't know existed. "Show me more," she said. Coleman pulled out files. The Brotherhood structure was like a corporation. Recruitment division, finance division, political division, enforcement division, the ones who'd killed Marcus.
They target specific communities, Coleman explained. Break them down through violence, drugs, controlled politicians. Then their legitimate businesses buy the property cheap. It's ethnic cleansing for profit. Destiny saw her neighborhood in those files. Every shooting, every eviction, every family destroyed, all connected to Brotherhood plans to reclaim the area. Marcus figured this out.
Your brother was brilliant, Coleman agreed. Too brilliant. He connected dots we missed for years. Harrison's voice, weak but clear. There's more. Everyone turned. He was conscious, barely. The Brotherhood has a summit tomorrow night. All leadership. Brightwater will be there. They think I'm dead in that dumpster. They'll be celebrating. Coleman leaned forward. Where? Brightwater's estate. Hidden room in the wine cellar. I can draw you a map. We could get them all, Coleman breathed. Only if I testify, Harrison said. Otherwise, it's just a suspicious meeting. Rich white men drinking wine. But with my testimony, identifying them all, explaining what they're planning. He started coughing, blood on his lips. The doctor pushed everyone back. He needs surgery now. As they wheeled Harrison away, Coleman turned to Destiny. We need to protect you and your family. If the Brotherhood knows you have the evidence. Her phone rang. Coleman answered, listened, her face going hard. She handed the phone to Destiny. It's your sister. Keisha's voice, crying. Destiny? There are men here. They have Mom. They said to tell you, bring the white man back, or... The line went dead. No, Destiny screamed, throwing the phone against the wall. Coleman was already moving, barking orders to her team. Get units to the Washington apartment, now. Trace that call. They have my mother and sister, Destiny said, her whole body shaking. Keisha's only 11. She already watched Marcus die. She can't... We'll get them back, Coleman said, but her eyes said she wasn't sure. Roderick punched the wall so hard his knuckles split open. I should have been there. Should have had someone watching them. Coleman's phone rang. She listened, her face getting darker. The apartment's empty. No sign of struggle. Neighbors didn't see anything. Of course they didn't. In their neighborhood, you learn not to see things if you wanted to keep breathing. Destiny's phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered with shaking hands. Miss Washington? The voice was smooth, educated, cold. We have something that belongs to us. He's not property. He's a person. Harrison Blackwood is a traitor who stole from his brothers. You have 1 hour to return him and our property, or your family pays for your interference. If you hurt them, 1 hour. Abandoned Ford plant. Come alone with Blackwood and the evidence. Any FBI presence, any tricks, and you'll receive your family in pieces. The line went dead. Coleman immediately started planning. We can't give him Harrison. Without him, hundreds of cases die. That's my mother, Destiny screamed. My baby sister. I understand, but no, you don't understand. Destiny was crying now, rage and fear mixing. They already took Marcus. I can't lose anyone else. Roderick stepped between them. I have an idea. Everyone looked at him. We give them Harrison. Coleman started to object, but he continued. But first, we upload everything online. Every document, every video, every piece of evidence. Make it public, viral. Then it won't matter if they destroy the physical evidence. Coleman shook her head. Chain of custody. If we release evidence before trial, defense attorneys will claim it's been tampered with. So we let Destiny's family die? Roderick shot back. Harrison's voice came from the doorway. He was in a wheelchair, IV still attached, held up by pure will. Take me, he said. Trade me for the family. You just had surgery, the doctor protested. You could die. I'm dying anyway, Harrison said.
Cancer. 3 months, maybe less. Let me do one good thing before I go. It's suicide, Coleman said. It's justice, Harrison replied. I helped create this monster. Let me help kill it. Destiny stared at him. This racist who'd spent 30 years spreading hate, now offering to die for her family. Why? she asked. Because your brother was right about everything. And because my grandson deserves a better world than the one I helped build. Coleman made a decision. We do both. Upload key evidence, Marcus's murder, the most damning documents, enough to go viral, not enough to compromise prosecution. And we send Harrison in, but wired, recording everything. They'll check him for wires, Roderick said. Not the kind we'll use. Coleman pulled out something that looked like a button. Military grade, undetectable, broadcast to satellite. 30 minutes left. Roderick and Coleman's team uploaded files to every platform. Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, everywhere. The hashtag #BrotherhoodExposed started trending immediately. Marcus's murder video had 50,000 views in 10 minutes. Destiny rode with Harrison in a van, just the two of them per the Brotherhood's demands. He looked like death warmed over, but his eyes were clear. I'm sorry, he said. About Marcus, about everything. Save it, Destiny said. Just get my family back. The Ford plant loomed like a monument to dead dreams. Once it employed thousands. Now it was a skeleton, picked clean, left to rot. Perfect place for the Brotherhood's business. They waited in the loading dock. Harrison in his wheelchair, Destiny beside him with 2 boxes of evidence. The originals, not copies. 3 black SUVs pulled up. Men got out, all armed, all wearing masks except one. Kenneth Fitzgerald, Marcus's murderer, now a detective, smiling. Little Destiny Washington, you look just like your brother did, right before I shot him. Destiny's hands clenched, but Harrison touched her arm. A warning. Stay calm. Thomas Brightwater stepped out of the middle SUV, the Prophet. He looked exactly like his photos. Silver hair, kind face, like everyone's favorite grandfather, until you saw his eyes. Cold, empty, like looking into winter. Mr. Blackwood, we thought you were dead. Disappointing you is my new hobby, Harrison replied. Brightwater laughed. Still got spirit. Good. It'll make breaking you more fun. My family, Destiny said. Where are they? Brightwater nodded. 2 men dragged Diane and Keisha from one of the SUVs. Both had duct tape over their mouths, zip ties on their wrists. Keisha's eyes were huge with terror. The evidence first, Brightwater said. My family first, Destiny countered. You're not in a position to negotiate, child. Actually, I am. Destiny pulled out her phone, showing the live stream. Thousands watching. We're live. Everything's being recorded. You kill us, the whole world watches. Brightwater's face went white. He pulled out his own phone, saw Brotherhood Exposed trending, saw Marcus's murder video playing on news sites. You clever little... That's when Harrison pulled the gun he'd hidden in his wheelchair. But he didn't aim at Brightwater. He aimed at Destiny. What are you doing? Destiny gasped, staring down the barrel of Harrison's gun. What I should have done from the beginning. Sorry, kid, but blood is blood. Brightwater started laughing. Oh, Harrison, you really had them fooled, didn't you? Destiny's world shattered. Everything. The confession, the evidence, cutting his own tattoo. All of it was lies? The cancer story was a nice touch.
Walking closer. 3 months to live? Beautiful. Even I almost believed it. Harrison kept the gun on Destiny but spoke to Brightwater. They have everything. Uploaded it all. The whole world's watching. Deep fakes, Brightwater said simply. That's what we'll claim. Technology these days, anyone can fake a video. Without you testifying, without the original evidence, it's just angry black people making up stories. Destiny's mind raced. The live stream was still running. Thousands watching. But Harrison had played them all. You never turned against them? She said to Harrison. Your grandson? Doesn't exist, Harrison said. No mixed-race grandson. No daughter who disappointed me. Just a story to make you trust me. Fitzgerald was laughing now too. But old man called us right after you picked them up. We've been tracking you the whole time. That shootout at the garage? Blanks and theater. We needed to know where the FBI would take you. Destiny felt sick. Coleman. Her team. They were probably walking into an ambush right now. The storage unit was real, she said. Had to be, Harrison agreed. Needed to make the FBI believe. But that evidence? Edited versions. The real video showed justified shootings, self-defense. The documents? Forgeries we prepared. You uploaded fake evidence, little girl. When the real evidence comes out, you'll look like liars. No, Destiny said. No, Marcus documented everything. Your brother was getting close, Brightwater said. Too close. So Harrison here suggested we use him. Let him find breadcrumbs. Lead him to evidence we wanted found. Make him think he was uncovering something huge. Then kill him and make it look like we were covering it up. Now any real evidence gets mixed with the fake. Nobody knows what's true anymore. Destiny's phone was still streaming, comments flooding in, people confused, angry, not knowing what to believe. Bring the family closer, Brightwater ordered. Fitzgerald dragged Diane and Keisha forward. Diane's eyes met Destiny's. Terror mixed with love mixed with apology for not protecting her. Now, Brightwater said, you're going to tell your viewers this was all a hoax, a desperate attempt to frame innocent men for your brother's justified shooting. Never, Destiny said. Brightwater nodded to Fitzgerald, who put his gun to Keisha's head. Wait, Destiny screamed. But Harrison moved his gun from Destiny to Fitzgerald. Put it down, Kenneth. Everyone froze. Harrison? Brightwater's voice held warning. I lied, Harrison said. But not to them. To you. He pulled up his sleeve with his free hand. The tattoo he'd cut was real, still bleeding through bandages. But above it, fresh, was another mark. FBI. Badge number. 3 years, Harrison said. I've been undercover for 3 years. Longest deep cover in Bureau history. Brightwater went for his gun. Harrison shot him in the shoulder, spinning him around. Fitzgerald swung his weapon toward Harrison, but Destiny was already moving. She grabbed a wheelchair and rammed it into Fitzgerald's legs. He went down hard. Federal agents, nobody move. Coleman's voice boomed through speakers. The warehouse flooded with light. FBI agents emerged from everywhere. The abandoned plant hadn't been empty. They'd been waiting. The live stream was a signal, Coleman said, walking forward, weapon drawn. Everything you just said, Brightwater, recorded. Admitting to framing Marcus Washington. Admitting to conspiracy. Admitting to murder. Brightwater was on the ground, bleeding, still trying to process what happened. Harrison stood up from the wheelchair. He wasn't as injured as he pretended to be. My name is Special Agent Harold Black. And Thomas
Brightwater, you're under arrest for conspiracy, murder, racketeering, and about 50 other charges. Fitzgerald tried to run. Roderick appeared from behind a pillar and clotheslined him. Fitzgerald hit the ground hard, Roderick's knee on his back. That's for Marcus, Roderick said. Destiny ran to her family, pulling the tape off their mouths, cutting the zip ties. They collapsed together, crying, holding each other. You knew? She asked Harrison. Harold, whoever he was. I've known for 3 years, he said. Been feeding information to Coleman, building the case. But we needed Brightwater to confess, needed him to think he'd won. Your grandson? Real. That part was true. When my daughter told me about him, that's when I agreed to go undercover. Because I'd spent so much time with these monsters, I'd started to think like them, until I saw my grandson's face and realized I'd been fighting for the wrong side. Marcus, Harold's, she couldn't think of him as Harrison anymore, face went dark. I tried to warn him off, sent those anonymous messages for real. But Brightwater was already watching him. I couldn't break cover, couldn't save him without destroying 3 years of work and letting hundreds of Brotherhood members escape. You let my brother die, Destiny said flatly. Yes, Harold said. I'll carry that forever. But his death wasn't in vain. He documented real crimes, found real evidence. We just mixed it with enough false trails to make Brightwater overconfident. Coleman walked over.
Destiny, what you did tonight, streaming everything, getting them to confess on camera, that was brilliant. I didn't know Harrison was undercover. Neither did most of my team. Only 3 people in the entire bureau knew. That's how deep he was. Brightwater was being loaded onto a stretcher, cuffed to the rails. He stared at Harold with pure hate. "This isn't over," Brightwater said. "The Brotherhood has lawyers, members in high places. We'll be out in days." "No," Coleman said, holding up her phone. "You won't. See, while you were confessing to murder, the rest of your Brotherhood was gathering at your estate. That summit Harrison told us about? We raided it. 300 arrests. Judges, politicians, police chiefs, all wearing their Brotherhood rings, all carrying weapons, all caught with enough evidence to bury them." Brightwater's face went gray. The livestream viewer count hit 1 million as they loaded Brightwater into the ambulance. Destiny's phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Comments, shares, news outlets begging for interviews. The video of Brightwater confessing to orchestrating Marcus's murder had already been downloaded hundreds of thousands of times. "We need to get you somewhere safe," Coleman said. "The Brotherhood has more members than just those we arrested. There'll be retaliation." But Destiny wasn't listening. She was watching Fitzgerald being dragged to a police car. The man who'd killed her brother, who'd planted evidence, who'd become a detective as a reward for murder. She walked over to him. "Destiny, don't," Coleman warned. Fitzgerald looked up at her, blood running from his nose, where Roderick had hit him. "Your brother begged. Like a little—" Destiny's fist connected with his jaw before anyone could stop her. Fitzgerald dropped, unconscious. "That's for Marcus." The FBI agents looked at Coleman, who shrugged. "I didn't see anything." They moved the Washington family to a secure hotel. Diane hadn't stopped holding her daughters, as if letting go might make them disappear. "I'm sorry," she kept saying. "I should have protected you better." "Mom, stop," Destiny said. "None of this is your fault." Harold Black was in the room too, out of his undercover persona completely now. He'd shaved the beard, cleaned up, looked like a
Different person, but his eyes were the same. Tired, haunted. The evidence, Destiny asked him, how much was real? Most of it, Harold said. The photos, the financial records, the membership lists, all real. The only fake things were some documents implicating innocent people, meant to make Brightwater feel safe. And the video of Marcus? 100% real. Fitzgerald recorded it himself as a trophy. Sick bastard. Coleman entered with her laptop. "You need to see this." The news was exploding. Hashtag Brotherhood Exposed wasn't just trending, it was the only thing anyone was talking about. News channels played the confession on repeat. Politicians were distancing themselves from anyone connected to Brightwater. The FBI had set up a tip line that received 10,000 calls in an hour. "The president's making a statement," Coleman said. "Justice Department's creating a task force. This is the biggest exposure of organized white supremacy in American history." "But they're not all caught," Keisha said quietly. It was the first time she'd spoken since the rescue. "The man said the Brotherhood indoors. They're still out there." Everyone looked at the 11-year-old. "You're right," Coleman said. "We got the leadership, but the ideology doesn't die just because we arrested people. There are Brotherhood members we don't know about. Sympathizers, people who believe what they believe." "So what do we do?" Diane asked. "We keep fighting," Destiny said. "Marcus didn't die just to expose them. He died trying to stop them. We finish what he started." Her phone rang. Unknown number. Coleman nodded. "Answer it." "Hello?" "You think you've won." The voice was young, angry. "You killed the prophet, but the Brotherhood has 1,000 prophets. We're in your schools, your police, your government. We're your neighbors, your teachers. We're everywhere." "Good," Destiny said, putting it on speaker so everyone could hear. "Come out of the shadows, show yourselves, because now the whole world is watching, and we're not afraid anymore." "You should be. Your brother wasn't the first. He won't be the last." The line went dead. Coleman was already trying to trace it. Burner phone. "But we recorded it."
Another threat to add to the charges. Harold stood up. I need to testify. Public testimony, everything I know about the Brotherhood's operations, their codes, their plans, make it impossible for them to reorganize. That's painting a target on your back, Coleman said. I've had a target on my back for 3 years. At least now, I can wear it honestly. Roderick had been quiet in the corner, watching the news on his phone. They're gathering, Brotherhood supporters, planning rallies, saying this is persecution of white people. Let them, Destiny said. Let them show their faces. Let them march with their torches and their signs, because now everyone knows what they really are. She looked at the live stream still running on her phone. Viewer count at 2 million now. I want to say something, she told Coleman, to everyone watching. Coleman nodded. Destiny held up the phone, looking directly into the camera. My name is Destiny Washington. 2 years ago, the Brotherhood killed my brother Marcus because he was exposing their network of hate. Tonight, they tried to kill my family, but we're still here. We're still fighting. She took a breath. To every family who's lost someone to hate, to every person who's been told they don't belong, to everyone who's been afraid, we see you. We stand with you. The Brotherhood wants us divided, afraid, silent. But we're united, brave, and loud. She looked at Harold. Even people who were part of the hate can choose to change. Choose to stand for justice. It's never too late to do the right thing. Back to the camera. Marcus Washington died fighting for truth. Tonight, truth won. But the fight's not over. It's just beginning, and we need every one of you. She looked directly at the camera, tears running down her face. The Brotherhood thinks they're everywhere? Well, so are we. We're your neighbors too, your teachers, your friends, and we're not hiding anymore. The live stream comments exploded with support. Hearts, fists, promises to stand together. Coleman's phone rang. She answered, listened, smiled. That was the Attorney General, she said. Every Brotherhood member we arrested is being held without bail, and they want Destiny to testify before Congress. Congress, Diane said. She's 16. She's also the face of the biggest civil rights victory in decades, Coleman said. Her testimony could lead to new laws, new protections. Destiny looked at her family. Her mother, exhausted but proud, Keisha, traumatized but fighting. They'd lost so much, but they were still standing. We'll testify, she said. All of us. Let the whole country hear what the Brotherhood really is. Harold cleared his throat. There's something else. Brightwater's files. I know where they are. Everything. Financial records showing which politicians he owned, which judges, which police departments. It's enough to clean house completely. Where? Coleman asked. Safety deposit box. I have the key. Or had it. He pulled something from his pocket, a small key he'd hidden through everything. Brightwater thought I was holding it for him. Coleman took the key like it was made of gold. This could expose hundreds more. Thousands, Harold corrected. The Brotherhood was bigger than even I knew. Destiny stood up, exhausted but determined. Then we exposed them all, every last one. Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. She opened it, expecting another threat. Instead, it was a photo. Marcus, alive, smiling, at some rally she didn't recognize. Below it, 2 words. Thank you. No name, no number she could trace. But somewhere out there, someone who'd known Marcus, maybe someone he'd helped or inspired, was watching, was grateful, was ready to fight. The Brotherhood thought they were an army. They were about to learn what a real movement looked like. If you're still watching, hit that subscribe button and join the Top Core family, because this story isn't over. It's just beginning. And what happens when Destiny Washington goes to Congress will show the whole world that one voice, speaking truth, can destroy an empire of lies. The federal courthouse in Detroit looked like a fortress under siege. News vans lined every street. Protesters faced off.
Brotherhood supporters with their signs claiming persecution on one side, justice advocates demanding accountability on the other. Between them, riot police in full gear. Inside Courtroom 9, Destiny Washington sat in the witness chair, staring at 300 of America's most dangerous men. The Brotherhood members filled every seat in the gallery, some in expensive suits, others in prison orange. Judges who'd fixed cases, cops who'd covered up murders, politicians who'd written laws targeting black communities, all watching her with eyes that promised revenge. "State your name for the record," the prosecutor said. "Destiny Washington. And you witnessed the defendant Kenneth Fitzgerald confess to murdering your brother." Yes, he admitted it, bragged about it. Fitzgerald sat at the defense table, his lawyer whispering frantically, but everyone had seen the live stream. 2 billion views now.
Them. Stopped them. Maybe saved lives.
"What's next for you?" a reporter shouted. "We keep fighting. The Brotherhood had 47,000 members. We arrested 300. Do the math." As they drove away, Destiny's phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. But this time, not a threat. "My son was killed by the Brotherhood 5 years ago. Police said it was random violence. Thank you for proving it wasn't. Thank you for giving us truth." Then another. "My husband was Brotherhood. After seeing your live stream, I'm leaving him, taking our kids somewhere safe." And another. "I'm a cop in Texas. 3 Brotherhood members in my department. Reporting them to FBI now." Message after message. People finding courage in truth. 6 months later, the Marcus Washington Foundation for Racial Justice occupied 3 floors of a downtown Detroit building. The same neighborhood Brightwater had tried to destroy was rebuilding with foundation money seized from Brotherhood assets. Destiny stood in the conference room, looking at applications. 3,000 families requesting help. Former Brotherhood victims needing legal support, therapy, relocation assistance. "We can help maybe 300 with current funding," Roderick said. He'd become the foundation's security director after getting certified. "Need more money." "Working on it," Destiny said. She was different now, still 16, but aged by war. The death threats had never stopped. FBI protection was constant. She testified before Congress 3 times, pushing for laws that would classify the Brotherhood as a terrorist organization. Harold Black entered, looking healthier than his undercover days, but still carrying the weight of his past. The Attorney General approved it, full witness protection for any Brotherhood member who turns evidence. How many takers? 17 so far. Lower-level members who joined young, got scared, won out. That was Harold's project, de-radicalization, using former Brotherhood members to expose recruitment tactics, help families identify warning signs, pull people back from hate. "Any word on the new cells?" Destiny asked. Coleman had warned them. Cutting off the Brotherhood's head meant the body would grow new ones. Smaller cells, harder to track, more violent in desperation. 3 new groups identified, Harold said. Using different names, same ideology. Keisha knocked and entered. She'd grown in 6 months. Taller, but also harder. The therapy helped, but watching your brother die and your family hunted left scars. "Someone here to see you," she said to Destiny. "Says it's important." The visitor was a white woman, maybe 40, nervous, constantly checking over her shoulder. "My name is Jennifer Carlson. My husband was Brotherhood. Was. He died in the raids." Destiny tensed. Roderick moved closer, protectively. "I'm not here for revenge," Jennifer said quickly. "I'm here because I found something. After Roderick died, I was cleaning out his things. Found this." She pulled out a laptop. "It has everything," Jennifer whispered. "The new cells, their leaders, their plans. Robert was helping them reorganize before he died." "Why bring it to us?" Destiny asked. "Why not the FBI?" "Because Robert has brothers in the FBI. They'd bury it. But you, they can't silence." Destiny took the laptop carefully. "This could get you killed." "My husband was a monster," Jennifer said. "I didn't know. Or maybe I didn't want to know. But after your live stream, after seeing what they did to your brother, I couldn't pretend anymore." She stood to leave, then turned back. "There's something else. There's a summit planned. The new Brotherhood leadership. 3 days from now. The location's in there. Then she was gone. Harold immediately started analyzing the laptop. The encryption was serious, but Harold knew Brotherhood codes. Jesus, he breathed. She wasn't lying. This is everything. The new Brotherhood was smaller, but more extreme. Instead of thousands of members, hundreds of cells with 5 to 10 members.
Harder to infiltrate, harder to track. The summit, Coleman said when they called her. 3 days isn't enough time to organize a proper raid. Then we don't raid, Destiny said. We expose. Same playbook. Live stream everything. Too dangerous. After last time, they'll be watching for that. Not if they think I'm somewhere else. The plan was insane. Destiny would make a very public appearance at a rally in Chicago, drawing Brotherhood attention there. Meanwhile, Harold and a small FBI team would infiltrate the summit with hidden cameras. I can't let you be bait, Diane said when she heard the plan. I'm already bait, Mom. Every day I wake up, I'm bait. At least this time, we're using it. The Chicago rally was massive. 10,000 people came to hear Destiny speak about justice, resistance, survival. She stood at the podium, knowing Brotherhood members were watching, maybe planning to strike. Fear is their weapon, she told the crowd. They want us afraid to speak, afraid to stand up, afraid to exist. But we're still here, still fighting, still winning. Meanwhile, Harold was at a warehouse in rural Michigan where the new Brotherhood leadership had gathered. FBI agents with micro cameras captured everything. The new prophet was younger, angrier, more direct than Brightwater. The old Brotherhood failed because they got soft, he said. We won't make that mistake. Direct action, no more hiding. They outlined plans for synchronized attacks on black churches, Jewish centers, immigrant communities. They had weapons, funds, and most terrifying, they had people inside law enforcement ready to ensure sluggish response times. Harold transmitted everything real time to Coleman's team. The raids happened simultaneously across 6 states, 200 arrests, weapons seized, attack plans disrupted. But Destiny was right. It was like fighting water. Stop it here, it flows there. At the Chicago rally, a shot rang out. Destiny dropped, security swarming, screams, chaos. But the shot had missed, deliberately. It was a message. We can reach you. They found a shooter within hours, a 17-year-old who had been radicalized online. The Brotherhood was recruiting children now, using gaming platforms and social media to spread poison to a new generation. Back in Detroit, the Washington family sat in their new apartment, bought with the settlement from the city for Marcus's wrongful death. It was nice, safe, in a better neighborhood, but it didn't feel like home. Home was where Marcus had lived. Is it worth it? Keisha asked one night. We got justice for Marcus, but they're still out there, still recruiting, still killing. Destiny didn't have an easy answer. The Brotherhood was wounded, but not dead. Maybe it could never fully die. Hate was like a virus, mutating, adapting, finding new hosts. But then she looked at the messages on her phone, thousands of them. People saying Marcus's story gave them courage. Former Brotherhood members leaving the organization. Communities organizing to protect themselves. Marcus used to say something. He said hate is loud, but love is stronger. It just needs to find its voice. She showed Keisha a video from the Chicago rally. 10,000 people, all colors, all faiths, standing together, singing, united. That's Marcus's voice now. All of those people carrying on what he started. Harold called. Another Brotherhood member wanted to defect. Another family needed protection. Another community needed help organizing against hate. The work never ended, but neither did the resistance. Washington, who found her brother's killer in a dumpster and chose justice over revenge. If you believe that truth is stronger than hate, that courage is contagious, and that one voice can become millions, hit that subscribe button. Join the Top Core family, because the Brotherhood wants you to believe they're everywhere. But so are we.
and we're not hiding anymore. The cemetery was supposed to be safe. Destiny stood at Marcus's grave, placing fresh flowers like she did every month. The morning sun cast long shadows between the headstones. Peaceful, quiet, until she saw it. Fresh graffiti on Marcus's headstone. 3 interlocking triangles spray-painted in red. Below it, he died for nothing. Destiny's hands shook as she pulled out her phone to photograph it. Before she could dial Coleman, she heard footsteps. 3 men emerged from behind a large monument. Young, maybe early 20s. No masks, no hiding. They wanted her to see their faces. The famous Destiny Washington, the tallest one said, visiting her dead snitch brother. "Get away from me," Destiny said, backing toward the cemetery entrance. "Public property," another smiled. "Free country, isn't that what you people always say?" They followed her, keeping pace, not quite threatening, but making their presence felt. This was the new Brotherhood, operating just inside the law, pushing boundaries, creating fear without leaving evidence. "Your testimony got 300 brothers locked up," the tallest one said. "Their families are suffering. Their kids are fatherless. All because you couldn't let things be." "Their fathers are terrorists," Destiny said, still backing away. "Freedom fighters. But history is written by winners, right? And little girl, you haven't won anything yet." They stopped following at the cemetery gate, but their message was clear. No place was sacred, no moment was safe. At home, the Washington apartment felt like a bunker. Coleman had installed new security, but technology couldn't stop psychological warfare. The Brotherhood had learned. Instead of violence that created martyrs, they used presence. Always watching. Always near. Always legal. "They're at Keisha's school," Diane said, showing Destiny her phone. Photos on social media. Brotherhood members standing across the street from the middle school. Not on school property, not breaking laws, just standing, watching, every day. "They're at the foundation office too," Roderick reported. "Different guys, same tactics. They photograph everyone who enters, post the photos online. People are getting scared to come." This was the new war. Not bombs and bullets, but intimidation and isolation. Harold Black had warned them this would happen. Prison doesn't kill ideology. It just teaches it to evolve. The Brotherhood had evolved into something worse. Smarter, more patient, using America's own freedoms against itself. Then came the announcement that changed everything. Cross, the newest prophet, wasn't hiding in compounds or basements. He was running for mayor of Columbus, Ohio. Legally. Openly. His platform carefully worded to sound reasonable while dog whistling to supporters. Restore traditional values. Protect American heritage. Safety for our families. "He can't run for office," Keisha said. "He's Brotherhood." "Being Brotherhood isn't illegal," Coleman explained during an emergency meeting. "We designated them a terrorist organization, but that only applies to violent acts. Cross has no violent record. He's careful. Everything he says could be interpreted 2 ways." "So he gets to run a city?" Destiny asked. "If he wins, yes." The poll showed Cross at 12% and climbing. He was young, charismatic, spoke about economic anxiety and community decay, never mentioned race directly. Let his supporters filled in the blanks. "We have to stop him," Destiny said. "How?" Coleman asked. "Legally, he's untouchable. First Amendment protects his speech. 14th Amendment protects his right to run. Then we expose him." But Cross had learned from Brightwater's mistakes. No tattoos, no recorded meetings, no direct connections to violence. He'd built perfect, plausible deniability. The foundation tried organizing opposition, but Cross was ready. Every event they held, Brotherhood members appeared, silent, legal, intimidating. Attendance dropped, donors pulled back. The city of Columbus suddenly found code violations at their local office. "They're strangling us slowly," Harold observed. "Death by 1,000 legal cuts." 3 weeks before the election, Destiny got an invitation. Sebastian Cross wanted to debate her, publicly, live television. "It's a trap," Roderick said immediately. "Of course it is," Destiny agreed. "But if I refuse, he wins. Says I'm afraid to face him." The debate was held at Columbus City Hall. Maximum security, metal detectors, FBI presence. But Cross didn't need violence. He had something more dangerous: sophistication. He walked on stage looking like a young senator. Suit perfect, smile warm, hand extended for a handshake that Destiny had to take or look petty. "Miss Washington," he said pleasantly, "thank you for coming." The moderator asked the first question about Cross's connection to the Brotherhood. "I understand Miss Washington's pain," Cross said, voice full of sympathy. "She lost her brother to violence. But painting everyone who disagrees with her politics as Brotherhood is dangerous. I've never been a member of any hate group. I simply believe in preserving American traditions and values." "You were recorded planning attacks on 50 cities," Destiny countered. "That's a complete fabrication. The person in that recording sounds nothing like me. Technology today allows anyone to fake voices. Where's the actual proof? Why haven't I been arrested if there's evidence?" He was right. The recording quality had been poor. Voice analysis was inconclusive. Without Christopher Stone's testimony, it was just noise. "You're using Brotherhood tactics," Destiny said. "The intimidation, the legal harassment." "I'm sorry, are you accusing me of crimes? Because that's slander. I'm a law-abiding citizen running for office. If people choose to peacefully protest your events, that's their First Amendment right, the same right you use." Every attack Destiny made, Cross deflected. Every accusation became proof of hysteria. He was calm, reasonable, articulate. She looked angry, desperate, afraid. "The real question," Cross said, looking directly at the camera, "is why Miss Washington is so afraid of democracy. If the people of Columbus want new leadership, why is she trying to interfere? Does she think she knows better than voters?" Destiny realized with cold horror that she was losing. Not just the debate, the narrative. Cross was reframing everything. The Brotherhood weren't terrorists, they were victims of persecution. She wasn't the hero, she was an authoritarian trying to silence political opposition. After the debate, Cross's polls jumped to 22%. "We're watching it happen," Destiny told Coleman. "Watching them take power legally, and we can't stop it." "We can," Harold said quietly. Everyone turned to look at him. "I've been investigating Cross for months," Harold said. "He's careful, but not perfect. I found something." The video Harold found was from 3 years ago. Sebastian Cross
Stopped them. Maybe saved lives. "What's next for you?" a reporter shouted. "We keep fighting. The Brotherhood had 47,000 members. We arrested 300. Do the math." As they drove away, Destiny's phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. But this time, not a threat. "My son was killed by the Brotherhood 5 years ago. Police said it was random violence. Thank you for proving it wasn't. Thank you for giving us truth." Then another. "My husband was Brotherhood. After seeing your live stream, I'm leaving him, taking our kids somewhere safe." And another. "I'm a cop in Texas. 3 Brotherhood members in my department. Reporting them to FBI now." Message after message. People finding courage in truth. 6 months later, the Marcus Washington Foundation for Racial Justice occupied 3 floors of a downtown Detroit building. The same neighborhood Brightwater had tried to destroy was rebuilding with foundation money seized from Brotherhood assets. Destiny stood in the conference room, looking at applications. 3,000 families requesting help. Former Brotherhood victims needing legal support, therapy, relocation assistance. "We can help maybe 300 with current funding," Roderick said. He'd become the foundation's security director after getting certified. "Need more money." "Working on it," Destiny said. She was different now, still 16, but aged by war. The death threats had never stopped. FBI protection was constant. She testified before Congress 3 times, pushing for laws that would classify the Brotherhood as a terrorist organization. Harold Black entered, looking healthier than his undercover days, but still carrying the weight of his past. The Attorney General approved it. Full witness protection for any Brotherhood member who turns evidence. How many takers? 17 so far. Lower-level members who joined young, got scared, won out. That was Harold's project, de-radicalization, using former Brotherhood members to expose recruitment tactics, help families identify warning signs, pull people back from hate. Any word on the new cells? Destiny asked. Coleman had warned them. Cutting off the Brotherhood's head meant the body would grow new ones. Smaller cells, harder to track, more violent in desperation. 3 new groups identified, Harold said. Using different names, same ideology. Keisha knocked and entered. She'd grown in 6 months. Taller, but also harder. The therapy helped, but watching your brother die and your family hunted left scars. Someone here to see you, she said to Destiny. Says it's important. The visitor was a white woman, maybe 40, nervous, constantly checking over her shoulder. My name is Jennifer Carlson. My husband was Brotherhood. Was. He died in the raids. Destiny tensed. Roderick moved closer, protectively. I'm not here for revenge, Jennifer said quickly. I'm here because I found something. After Roderick died, I was cleaning out his things. Found this. She pulled out a laptop. It has everything, Jennifer whispered. The new cells, their leaders, their plans. Robert was helping them reorganize before he died. Why bring it to us? Destiny asked. Why not the FBI? Because Robert has brothers in the FBI. They'd bury it. But you, they can't silence. Destiny took the laptop carefully. This could get you killed. My husband was a monster, Jennifer said. I didn't know. Or maybe I didn't want to know. But after your live stream, after seeing what they did to your brother, I couldn't pretend anymore. She stood to leave, then turned back. There's something else. There's a summit planned. The new Brotherhood leadership. 3 days from now. The location's in there. Then she was gone. Harold immediately started analyzing the laptop. The encryption was serious, but Harold knew Brotherhood codes. Jesus, he breathed. She wasn't lying. This is everything. The new Brotherhood was smaller, but more extreme. Instead of thousands of members, hundreds of cells with 5 to 10 members.
At a private party, drunk, laughing with friends, speaking freely because he thought no cameras were present. The beauty of democracy, Cross said in the video, is that people will vote for their own destruction if you package it right. Tell them their problems are someone else's fault. Give them an enemy. They'll hand you power willingly. Someone off camera asked about his real goals. Complete transformation, but slowly. First, get elected, then hire our people. Change policies bit by bit. By the time anyone realizes what happened, we'll control everything. The Brotherhood doesn't need violence anymore. We have voting booths. The video was damning, but Harold had sat on it. Why didn't you release this immediately? Destiny demanded. Because timing matters. Release it too early, he claims it's fake. Has time to recover. Release it now, 1 week before the election, and he's finished. They released it through multiple channels simultaneously. Every news outlet, social media platform, streaming service. The video went viral in hours, 20 million views by morning. Cross held an emergency press conference. This is exactly what I warned about, he said, looking haggard but determined. Deep fake technology being used to destroy political opponents. This video is completely fabricated. But his body language said otherwise. The confidence was gone. He knew this was real, and more importantly, his supporters knew it too. Then something unexpected happened. Other videos started surfacing. Brotherhood members who'd been at that party, who'd kept their own recordings, each one showing Cross saying worse things, talking about genetic superiority, making jokes about Marcus Washington's death, planning the slow conquest of America. The Columbus Election Commission met an emergency session. Cross wasn't technically disqualified, but his campaign collapsed. Supporters fled, donors disappeared. He went from 22% to 3% in 2 days. But Cross had one final card to play. The night before the election, he appeared on a French podcast that streamed to hardcore Brotherhood supporters. They silenced me, he said, just like I warned. The system is rigged against white Americans. Democracy has failed us.
So we moved to Plan B. Which is, the host asked, revolution, not at the ballot box, in the streets. Within hours, Brotherhood cells nationwide received orders. Not for coordinated attacks this time, that had failed. Instead, spontaneous violence, random, unpredictable, designed to create chaos without clear targets for law enforcement. Coleman's phone exploded with alerts. A black church burned in Alabama, a synagogue vandalized in Oregon, an immigrant-owned business destroyed in Texas. No pattern, no warning, no way to predict the next target. They're everywhere and nowhere, Coleman said frantically. We can't protect everything. But Destiny had learned something from their last major threat. The Brotherhood's strength was also its weakness. It required communication, orders, coordination. Harold, she said, you were undercover for 3 years. You know their communication methods. They change them constantly. But the psychology doesn't change. They need to feel connected, part of something. Where do angry young men go to feel that? Harold's eyes lit up. Gaming platforms, Discord servers, Telegram channels. They contacted every major tech company. Not through legal channels, that would take too long. Destiny went public again, live streaming to millions. Right now, terrorists are using your platforms to coordinate attacks on Americans, your servers, your technology. You have the power to stop this. The question is, will you? The pressure was immediate and overwhelming. Users threatening boycotts, advertisers pulling money, stock prices dropping. Within 6 hours, major platforms began mass suspensions. Thousands of accounts linked to Brotherhood terminology, ideology, connections, gone. Their communication network shattered. The random attacks stopped as suddenly as they'd started. Without coordination, individual cells went dark, unsure what to do. Sebastian Cross tried to maintain control, but he'd miscalculated. His call for revolution had crossed the line from protected speech to incitement. FBI agents arrested him during another podcast, live on air. The image of him being dragged away in handcuffs while ranting about white genocide became another viral moment, but not the kind he'd wanted. A week later, Destiny stood before Congress one final time. The Brotherhood thought they could evolve, she said. From violence to politics, from terrorism to democracy, they thought they could use our freedoms against us. But they forgot something fundamental about America. We're not just laws and systems. We're people. And when people stand together, when communities unite, when citizens demand better, no amount of manipulation can defeat that. She held up her phone showing statistics. Since releasing the Cross videos, we've received 50,000 tips about Brotherhood recruitment. Former members wanting out, parents concerned about their children, teachers reporting suspicious activity. This isn't just law enforcement anymore. It's everyone. The congressional vote was unanimous. New laws specifically targeting political infiltration by terrorist organizations, enhanced monitoring of hate group communications, federal protection for communities under threat. But Destiny knew laws were just paper without people willing to enforce them. That night, she stood in Marcus's room one last time. They were finally moving, not running, but choosing. A new house in a better neighborhood bought with money from the book deal she signed. The Girl Who Found the Killer in a Dumpster. A story of justice. We did it, Marcus. We really did it. Keisha appeared in the doorway. You talking to him again? Always. Think he'd be proud? Destiny smiled. I think he'd be annoyed that we made him famous. But yeah, proud too. As they packed the last boxes, Destiny's phone rang. Coleman. Just wanted you to know, Coleman said. Final numbers are in. Since your first live stream exposing Brightwater, we've arrested 12,000 Brotherhood members, prevented 43 attacks, saved an estimated 300 lives. How many are still out there? Fewer every day. They're scared, Destiny. Scared to recruit because anyone could be recording. Scared to plan because anyone could be listening. Scared to act because everyone is watching. After Coleman hung up, Destiny found herself on the roof one last time, looking out at Detroit, the city Marcus died defending, the city that made her who she was. Her phone buzzed with a message from a number she didn't recognize. She almost deleted it, expecting another threat. But something made her open it. My name is Brandon. I was recruited by the Brotherhood when I was 15. Angry kid, dead dad, looking for someone to blame. They gave me targets for my rage, made me feel powerful. I was at the compound the night you exposed Cross, ready to die for the cause. But watching you, 17 years old, standing up to all of us, made me realize I was on the wrong side. I left that night, turned myself in, got probation and counseling. Now, I speak at schools about recruitment tactics. Just wanted you to know that you didn't just expose the Brotherhood. You saved some of us from it. Thank you. Destiny read it 3 times, tears falling on her phone screen.
Was the victory that mattered. Not the arrests or laws or headlines, but individuals choosing to step back from the edge, choosing humanity over hate. She thought about Harold Black, who'd spent 3 years pretending to be a monster to catch real monsters. About Jennifer Carlson, who'd risked everything to expose her dead husband's network. About Christopher Stone, who died getting them the evidence they needed. The Brotherhood had believed in blood loyalty, that race created unbreakable bonds. But they'd been destroyed by their own members choosing conscience over color. The Brotherhood endures, Destiny said to the night sky, echoing their old motto. But you know what endures longer? Truth, love, hope, justice. The things Marcus died for. The things that can't be killed no matter how hard you try. Her phone lit up with notifications. The Marcus Washington Foundation had received its largest donation ever. $10 million from an anonymous donor who had written simply, "For all the brothers and sisters still fighting." Tomorrow Destiny would start college, studying law because she'd learned that sometimes the best weapon against injustice was understanding the system well enough to change it. Keisha would start high school, scarred but strong. Diana would finally sleep without checking the logs 6 times. They would never be the same family they had been before Marcus died. But they were still a family, still fighting, still winning. One small victory at a time. The Brotherhood had wanted them broken. Instead, they'd become unbreakable. And somewhere, in whatever came after this life, Marcus Washington was smiling. This is the end of Destiny Washington's story, but not the end of the fight. If you believe that ordinary people can do extraordinary things, that truth is stronger than lies, and that united communities can defeat any threat, then you're part of this resistance too. Share this story. Talk about it. Watch for the warning signs in your own community. Because the Brotherhood was right about one thing. They are everywhere, but so are we. And we're not hiding anymore. Thank you for watching Top Core, where every story teaches us that the real power isn't in hate. It's in having the courage to choose love, even when love seems impossible. Especially then.